Hi, welcome. Thanks for tuning in today. Today, I wanted to give a small a story which I had come across on my personal experience and how sometimes we just have to let it go. And this happens, many times we do take a lot of stress for that particular situation which is going on. But everything you can do each and everything on your part. The most important thing is, are you doing the best version of it? And if things are not happening the way it should, just let it go. So, but I just wanted to give you a small experience which I had, which perhaps will can correlate and probably different situations what you may come across in your lives. So there was a time almost a couple of years back. I have to apply for a visa. So I traveled from Bangalore to Delhi. So whereas in before I went to the visa, even there was not of a clarity on things which needed over there. There are some documentation, attestations required, documentation required, but there was never mentioned that I need to carry a demand draft on certain bank. So I was in the assumption that, because I mailed it, but then since there was no response, I was in the assumption probably, I can just pay right there. So that was easy for me. But however, I always used to carry all the documents with me. So which is, including my checkbooks, etc., just to be in a safe side, for a last moment, whatever it may come. So the first thing, I was the first guy to go in there, and then he picked up everything, tuck, tuck, tuck. So he checked everything. Oh, so where is the demand draft? I said, I don't know. I didn't get a demand draft. So I sent the mail also, but I never got any response. So he said, okay, no problem. So we do accept the application till about 1 o'clock, but pretty much you're going to get the next day. But if you give before 1 o'clock, pretty much you get the visa on the same day. So it's pretty much so that's an agreement. So I was under very lot of stress, So I need to find the bank which they had mentioned. So I went to the nearest bank, which is pretty much walkable distance. So they said, they're not doing it. So and then they gave a different option of going to the next bank. So I went to the next bank. Finally, they said they can do it. But when I went there, they said that you need to have the demand. In order for you to get a demand draft, you need to have a account with that particular bank. I said, I'm traveling. I don't have an account. Is there any way that I can do? I can pay by the check. I can give you cash, whichever the terms. He said no. And then I was like, I kind of lost, you travel from Bangalore to Delhi and then you're in the middle of nowhere and you're waiting and everything is linked. Now, I said, okay, let me talk to our manager. So I looked at him and I said, see, this is the situation. I have my Aadhaar card, I have these, I have my cash. All I need is a demand draft. So eventually they agreed, okay, as an exception, we'll do it. But eventually, everything went along. So I signed everything one time. So finally, we are about, I said, okay, less than 10 minutes. So it was like not even 11 o'clock. So I was thinking that, okay, thank God it's done. So unfortunately, the online across entire the bank thing shuts down. Now and then he said, sir, everything is done. Unless until that comes, we cannot help you. And only, it's online printed demand draft, and then we can give you only with once it comes back. So I waited. I was nervous because, I had a same flight in the evening. I had booked back from Delhi to Bangalore, hoping that I know everything will be finished. I'll pick up my passport and then go. Now I was under, it's not as easy as I'm saying, but I was under tremendous, tremendous pressure. Many times I look at the guy's face. I was just sitting in front of me. He looked at my face, helpless. He's helpless. I'm helpless. It's things are not going anywhere. So I said, okay, let me just go and grab something to eat. So I went and then I eat. I said, okay, I just had to postpone my flights. Probably I'm not going to give before 12 o'clock to this guy, before 1 o'clock to the visa officer, and I'm not going to get my passport anyway, so I need to postpone it. But even if I postpone, I'm not sure, how is it going to go, so I need to cancel my flight tickets, etc. So I'm thinking so many things. So I went, I had my lunch, and I came back. Still, it was not working. Trust me, 12:10 it comes back from the online, and this is exactly true, guys. I'm not just making up any stories or something. So it took almost 2.5 hours. Entire process is done. It's 12:30. Finally I got my demand draft, so I rushed back and I spoke with him. But he said, no, it's too late, probably I can take an application, but the next, probably the next day you can wait and pick up your passport. No, I was under this tremendous pressure. It's not that it's, for you to cancel and immediately book also. You're going to lose a lot of money, and then you're staying in a hotel, etc., etc. So I told him what best can be done. I really need to go, and this is my flight ticket, and I show him, and I explain him in a different way. See, I spoke with him while I was in a bank and a phone. He was not listening. But when I met him and then I explained him the entire situation, and then he kind of softened up. And eventually, I'll try my best for you to give you the passport back by 3:30, because normally that's the time office closes. If it happens, if it happens, but it all depends on the immigration officer. It's going to happen today or tomorrow, but then just keep your fingers crossed, and then I'll try. Eventually, I got it back. I went at 3 o'clock. Thank God everything went well, and then I got it, and the same day I went back. But then the whole day, when I look at back, it's a lot of stress. There are times, there is nothing much you can do, and there is nothing much the other person can do. Like in a bank example I was mentioning, he's looking at my face, I'm looking at him, and combining all these, I never gave up on not going, because initially he said before, either 1 o'clock, either you come in, if you come, we'll process, otherwise you bring the entire thing for the next day. So it was very, the deadline is not even less than 30 minutes. I still thought of, okay, let me go and meet him and explain him the situation. And if I would think of, okay, canceling without anything, canceling everything, okay, anyways, let's go tomorrow, probably, things will go in a different way. But I thought of giving a last try. So eventually the guy convinced, and then everything went well. And then I went back to Bangalore the same night. But the entire story gave me a lot of lessons. The entire process itself. See, sometimes you can be the best version of yourself. We are always taking help from other people, and that particular day, there was like many people came on in terms of angels and for me, because everybody is doing their part. But how supportive are there? So it's not like, it's everything, even irrespective, if I was a millionaire that day also, irrespective of that guy comes and helps me, irrespective of the visa officers come and help me, I was not going to get about that. Probably I'll get it in the next week or coming days, or I had to travel back and forth. But each and every interaction what we have in our life is very, very, very important, and we should respect, and we should always thank for each and everyone for their job or for their duties what they're performing, um, for entire society, entire community. So for that gave me a lot of thinking. And they say there are many things that you can do, but then if you don't take a support of each other, and each and every one point, probably the least of the guy can be the most important person in your life at some point of time. So that is something that I've taken away, that we should respect each other. We should respect each other's time, respect each other's profession, for what they're doing it. At the same time, you respect yourself, and sometimes just letting the things go, uh, things which you cannot, thinking and stressing so much about that particular event is not going to bring you anything. But give yourself, till that last moment, till that last breath, the best that you could do, and then leave the results to the time, the time you will get the results. So with that note, I would like to leave you. I hope there was a lesson for you to take whichever the situations you are in. And sometimes taking things too seriously will not help, and uh, respecting each other. And main thing is that each and every person some point of time will be most important than you think they are. So respect each other, and just let it go after doing all your efforts, and the results do show. Stay tuned, stay blessed, and be good to influence the people around. Thank you.